Go started.
Yes. All right.
All right, so I'm Shalom. This is the brothers from GMS Chicago. Coming back at you with some more edification. And first thing we want to do is give all honor and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh
Ba'ashem,
Ba'Hashem, Yahweh
Yahushai,
Shai
Ba'ashem,
Ba'Hashem
Kakwadash.
Kakodash,
Yeah, so I'm joined with the brother,
Mashaba.
and we just going into basically how, the Lord's going to judge all you people that's offending the bed of the Lord, man. Because whether it's your family, your woman, they all, if they offend you, man, and they offend you in a heavy way, they doing nothing but setting marks upon their heads, man, for their destruction. So this is Matthew 18:6. So who shall offend one of my little ones? One of my little ones which believe in me, where it was better for a millstone be hanging about his neck, and that he drowned in the depths of the sea. For whom the world because of an offense, for it must needs to be that offense come. But woe to the man whom the offense cometh. Right, man. So it's better because really drowning is like one of the, it's like the second worst death right next to being burned alive, So it's better to drown basically without being even able to go anywhere than to offend one of the men of the Lord, man. Because ultimately, you're going to get that worst death, that fire, man, to be burned alive by the fires, man.
Yeah, it said a millstone about your neck. So that means, as the brother say, can't even move, but you're being choked by a dang boulder while you're drowning. Just imagine somebody got you in a rear naked choke and you surrounded in water. So not only is you drowning, you just choking. Like you suffocating in two ways at once. Imagine that.
Losing your life faster.
Imagine if dang Aquaman got you in a headlock under the sea. But yeah, man. So and offended the Lord. Not only offended the Lord, you offended the Lord. Is as simple as sinning. Okay, but offending one of his little ones to the point where they are truly angry at you, to where they want to put up curse on you, then you really just messed up. You're gonna know when that day of judgment comes. All right, this is Matthew 12:36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So yeah, all right, and this scripture is heavy, because it means be cautious with whatever you say, and even whatever you think about man the Lord, or just the Lord, man. Okay. Because let's say let's say somebody ignorant, just somebody in the world talking to a man the Lord, some type of way, maybe calling them out their name, just whatever, yada yada yada. The Lord could judge that person, right there and then, a day after, a week after, a month after, or in the days of judgment, man. Just for what they said. The Lord said we're gonna give account for everything we did. All right, words included, man. All right, so just think about that. All right, be cautious with what you say. But these people, they ignorant, so they're not gonna be cautious with what they say. All right. They are gonna call you out your name. They are gonna offend you on purpose. That's why they're gonna get judged. Okay. Psalms chapter 34 and verse 6. You can get wisdom Psalm at 5. This is Psalms chapter 34 and verse 6. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. The angels of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear them, that fear him and delivereth them. So yeah, all right. So we protected by the angels, all right, and the angels, that they watch us, for the Lord, even though he can do it on themselves, but he has his ways. All right, so the Lord just, let's say the Lord, the angels just witness you being, spit on by, somebody in the world, and reported back to how about Shai, they get jacked up instantly. The Lord will have something to where they tongue get cut off, all right, or they start get a horrible food poisoning. All right, you don't know. That's why you gotta be these people. They're gonna get judged for offending the little ones of Yahweh Shema Shai, man, his servants. All right, let's say somebody beat up your best friend, your homie. Would you not want to beat that person up who did it? All right, so just imagine how the Lord feels to his faithful about his faithful servants. All right, his children, the ones that he considered his friends. All right, so he gonna roll with those who roll with him. All right, you can read that Wisdom of Solomon 5. Start at 1.
All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall a righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such afflicted him, and have no account in his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they looked for. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of the spirit shall say within themselves, this was whom he had, whom we had sometimes in derision, in the proverb of reproach.
Hold on, pause. So yeah, man. All right, it said the first scripture said, such of as have afflicted him. All right, not only is these curses, Esau and these heathens afflicting us, but no, Jake is as well, man. All right, Jake can be a great offender as well. Scriptures say, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. All right, Jake can trouble you the most in this world. All right. Overall, the one who's gonna trouble you is Esau, Edom, but Jake can really get into the nook and crannies of your personal of your personal life, man. All right, Jake is wicked. All right.
Why has to do evil?
You said what?
Why has to do evil?
Calm, man. All right, and especially against men of the Lord, because they see you as weak or lame or just whatever, man. All right, and just because they spirit don't align with yours. Hold on.
Especially a lot of you people that mock the Hebrew, man, because you have family members and you answer the phone for a brother and you say shalom, and then your family members is now copying you. I mean, not like twisting up the Hebrew language, man. And these people are gonna get judged for that, man, because I've seen it happen so many times, and it is so vexing.
All right, this is Jeremiah 13:23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. So yeah, man. And these Jake, they can't help it. All right, they want to scoff you, they want to offend you, they want to afflict you, man, because their spirit literally goes against yours. It's contrary. So whatever they can do or say, to get under their skin, trust me, they'll do it at some point. Even if they don't mean to consciously do it, it's just spirit against spirit. All right, Jay can seem like a so-called cool person to you, but they'll always be doing that at least that one thing that is just off, against your spirit. All right, you could have friends, so-called friends in the world, man, are friends of mammon. All right, and you cool with them, whatever, that cool peoples, but they'll always do that one thing, besides from just not serving the Lord, that is gonna vex you. It's gonna vex your spirit. All right, but yeah, man. All right, can't finish that now.
This verse 4. These fools are counted in his madness.
His life madness.
His life madness, and the end.
His end.
His end to be without honor. how is it numbered among the children of Yahweh, and lots of
And his
I
lot.
mean, and his lot is among the saints.
God. That I was the opponent of that. So yeah. All right, it says we fools account to his life madness. All right, so they gonna know that a prophet was among them. All right, you know. Hold on, and let me just finish it out with that. This is Ezekiel chapter 33, and I'm gonna start at verse 32. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. So yeah, when the time comes of Jacob's trouble, when you're missing limbs because your dog went rabid and bit it off you, or you had to eat your dog because you were starving, or you gotta decide to give your left or your right hand to your children so they can eat. That's when you're gonna be wondering, why didn't I serve the Lord? Especially those women, especially Israelite women. Okay, when Isaiah 4:1 comes, there's some of you women that are gonna be rejected just because of how prideful and wicked y'all were. All right, there's a lot of women that's gonna be just rejected in the days of trouble, even though that. We know that y'all gonna do everything by yourselves. We know that y'all gonna, give yourselves your own food, your own clothing. Y'all just only want to be called by, our name. Y'all only wanted to be protected, but we still gonna reject y'all just because of how wicked y'all were, man. All right, of how much y'all offended us. Okay, so these are all things to take into account. When those times of trouble come, and you remember that you offended a man of the Lord. Offend not one of his little ones, man. Wicked Jay gonna learn. Okay, but you had anything you wanted to kind of, so this lesson, we hope it was edifying. But we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Second thing I want to do is give double honors to all the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all of you brothers that are pushing this truth with both sincerity and with charity. Shalom, welcome, Yasharallah, wa ababa ball. Shalom.